Hello, my name is Gregtech82 and welcome back to my Gregtech New Horizons series. I've done a couple things in between episodes, and one of them, if we notice, I have some more travel anchors. Just to make it a little bit easier to get around the base because it is starting to get quite large. So we got our A controller here and our epoxid over here. Now I have changed this a little bit. And one of the problems what I was running into was whenever I wanted to make hydrochloric acid for other things, it was just feeding into here and constantly producing the bisphenol. So that was just piling up in my AE system. So I put a fluid level emitter here for the bisphenol and told it don't import any more hydrochloric acid in there. So we got that taken care of. The other one, so it turns off. I'm not just producing epoxid constantly, filling up my A system, is I put one above here that also has epoxid sheets, and it just tells the A system not to put bisphenol in here to produce epoxid. Now I just have it set to keep that stocked and the epichlorohydrin stocked. And then the last one, which caused me the biggest kind of problem here, was the propene, water, and chlorine. Because if I only had, the way I had set it up basically was the propene. When I needed more epichlorohydrin, I had it set to import more propene. But the problem was water and chlorine mixed together with a circuit of 1 was producing hypochlorous acid. So even though it had no propene in it, it was still going through my chlorine and just producing something I didn't really need. So I changed it to tell it if I need epichlorohydrin, if there's more than this in the A system, it'll turn off. And if I need more epichlorohydrin, it'll just put some chlorine in here to produce that. The other issue I ran into is if it had no water in it, the propene and chlorine would do, I can't remember, chloride I think it was producing. So basically, propene and chlorine does something, water and chlorine does something, and propene, water, and chlorine, the three of them together do something. So what I did was I threw just a tank over here of propene, kind of have a backlog, so I figure it will, when it kicks on to fill up with chlorine, it'll fill up with the chlorine, and hopefully it won't drain out this entire backlog of propene. And by the time it shuts off again, this will start filling back up again. So basically I just have a bit of a backlog of propene. So that one over there is always full, so it's not just left with water and chlorine. So yeah, it seems to be working right now, but I haven't been pulling a lot of epoxid out, so we shall see. I'm not, I don't know if it's gonna work when I'm start tearing through all the epoxid, but yeah, I also set up a extractor by itself. Basically glue flowers are going in here, glowstone is being taken out, and a couple other things. I think I moved, yeah, the chemical reactor there, and I also set up a naphtha, severely steam-crapped naphtha. It was downstairs with an LV. I just set up a LV thing right here. I had a room, so I just set that up. All right, but anyway, enough talking about epoxid. I've done that a few times, but I also, really quick, have set up a little hallway over here, and I moved my industrial extruder over here. And yeah, I put the input buses on the top, so if I ever want to add interfaces on top, or maybe in the front, because I probably will at some point need another one for rods, it's just a little easier than being in here. Alright, so basically that's kind of what I've done in between episodes. A couple things here and there. But I think let's take a look at where we need to go from here. Advanced assembly machine. think I already have that, don't I? Yeah, why don't we just break that really quick. Finish that quest and we can put it back, I think. Yeah, we'll take iridium, I guess. Alright, so the other things we need, there is this over here is very complicated fluid. We have HSS ingots. That's another thing. I also need to get Callisto ice ore and ledox. Let's see. Yttrium I have crafted, but yttrium is annoying to make, so I haven't done this quest. But basically, I'm working towards those quantum circuits so I can do the assembly line. Now, the assembly line... I never remember if it's assembly or assembling. Assembling, okay, so it is assembling, right? Yeah, depending on how many... This says a variable length. You can do either from 5 to 16, depending on the recipe. Now, to get the recipes, I don't know if there's... I have no idea what you unlock LUV with. Let's take a look at the machine hull. Yeah, chrome and vanadium gallium. So I don't know what opens that up. One thing we can do, and the tungsten cable, I need to get that set up because I just put the silicon in here and coat the wires. Anyway, let me cut here and then we'll figure out where we're going for today's episode. All right, so I kind of did some looking. I was curious what opened up the next quest. And it is the assembly line that will open up that chapter. And the assembly line, there is a... Find it. There is an assembly line quest around here. But it opens up after we do this quest line. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And for this, I just did everything like that. I'm just waiting for the 4 master quantum computers. Now, hopefully it doesn't ask me to do 4 of the next one, because that would be crazy. At least for the quest. I'm going to have to do it eventually for the assembly line. But that... Oh, well, there's... I keep forgetting these things. I put these things in here to teleport all around. Alright, so there is that. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I have room. So this one is... This one replaces this, if I'm correct, right? LUV, yeah. So we can get rid of that. Put that in there. And then the next quest, I guess we'll take those. It needs 4 of those. I mean, that is a lot. All right, so we need 4 more of those. Oof, that's a lot. Although I do have pretty much everything is auto crafting. Except for the platinum, which I have going on over here. Sort of. What did that? It's kind of weird why I didn't do that. Anyway, we'll come back when I get this quest completed. Alright, so I finally figured out how I want to do my iron chloride, and I was debating whether doing a large chemical reactor And it turns out it's way easier than I realized it was going to be. All you need is 2 advanced chemical reactors. I have 1 set for chlorine and a circuit of 1. And I have hydrogen cells. And the hydrogen cells will... Basically, the hydrogen cells go in here. With the chlorine, it turns into hydrochloric acid, mixes with the iron, and I get the 3 cells back. So if I turn this off, I get 3 cells of hydrogen back, and then I just have it exporting back into this, and these just bounce back and forth. And that is producing my iron chloride. Now I have a storage bus on the back of this, so that should just be filling up this one, although I may have another... Do I have another one? I don't think I have any other ones that need iron chloride, do I? I do have some in there, but that's not auto... Yeah, that's not creating it. Do I need that in there anymore, actually? I don't think I do. The reason I had that in there was I was creating the circuit boards in there, but I now have the large one to do that, so let's pull that out as well. Alright, so that should just turn off when my thing is full, although I feel like it's not. Oh, of course, it needs to fill this up. Alright, so when that fills up, that should turn off, and that will be this automated, hopefully. But yeah, I was going to use fluid counters and all sorts, but it turned out I didn't need that. Alright, so back to this. We need 4 more of those. And yeah, I need 16 of those, which means I need 16 buckets of the iron chloride. So that's why I just went ahead and did that. Take a quick look. I could have used my teleport, but I didn't. Yeah, and it's turned on. So perfect. That should be using up this. It's refilling. Ah, love it. Love seeing things work. Although this is going to tear through my iron. It is 1 iron per circuit board, so I guess that's not the end of the world, but yeah. Alright, so that feels pretty good. Anyway, let me finish this and we will come back. Alright, we have gone ahead and finished this quest. I think we're just going to take the aluminum frame boxes. Probably the most expensive. Alright, so that is that done. Now it should have opened up the assembly line. Alright. Assembly line. It's a multi-block and important for high-tier components. The machine can be 5 to 16 blocks long. The minimum length required depends on the number of components. The bottom layer must have blah blah blah. We'll get to that more when we are building it. Automating the assembly line is God tier GTNH endgame. While it can be done with Andrio, it's easier to use Steve's factory manager open computers. Yeah, so that should be interesting, trying to automate it. Because I don't know anything about open computers, and Steve's factory manager, I'm not so great about that either. I have used it, but it's been a long time. But anyway, we can see all the different things that we need here. Now, do you actually need... Does it need to be in IV for all this stuff? And that's like rough. Input buses, output bus, IV. I don't know why it would need to be that big. Why? Unless it like requires that? Let's take a look at what it says. I am absolutely not going to do that if that is the case. If it doesn't need it. Alright, it looks like it doesn't say anything about needing to be IV input buses or anything. So I am absolutely not going to do IV stuff here unless it is absolutely needed. But this is all pretty easy to make, just a lot of steel. And yeah, I'm probably gonna have to throw a couple more of these in my blast furnace. Actually, I finally set up a interface on the blast furnace. I think we got that. So if I do 1 iron to not dark steel. Did I use up all? No, there's my steel. So 1 iron to 1 steel. That should go. Yep. This one is my blast furnace. So if I wanted to do 10 more, that should throw it in the blast furnace, and that should create steel in theory. Can't see if it's turned on. Did it already go? I don't even know if it already went. It only takes about a second for steel ingot. Oh, yeah, there we go. So it was working, I just didn't realize. All right. So reinforced glass we've done before. Oh, this is a really easy recipe. Just a carbon plate with alloy smelter. All right, so do I need to get, no, I probably don't need to get this. Yeah, that's super easy. These assembly line casings, not too bad, just IV stuff. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna craft up a motor. I think I need some tungsten. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and we'll do, let's craft, I use these so much, I might as well get this recipe for the tungsten. I really need to set up my silicon rubber production as well. That is another one that I really need to get set up, especially now that we're really getting into like IV stuff here. Where is, there it is. All right, so let me get this motor built and we'll scan it and we'll take a look at the recipe. So I need 2 tungsten cables. And yeah, we'll come back. All right, I've gone ahead and crafted up the electric motor. And I feel like there's, I remember seeing a quest somewhere, I think. I don't remember where I saw this. It was saying to like scan the stuff. But if I find it, I will definitely point it out. I assume it would be like under here. Also, I need to do this argon cell. I just don't have that much argon on me. Yep, still crafting up argon, but I think it's filling one of the things. Anyway, we have our scanner over here, I think. And we will, I think this just goes in. Yeah, so it's an LV, but it does have a very long time, but it needs a data stick, doesn't it? I think it's a data stick, not a data orb. Yeah, low capacity data stick, yeah. There we go. All right, so that's just gonna take a while. 1800 seconds. Nothing, well, other than putting in a better scanner. You can't really do much about that, but the scanner is kind of expensive for the tier. So I have an HV. If I want to make like an IV, we need LUV circuits. Actually, that's really not that bad. I mean, I do craft these. Yeah, now that I've quantified, that's actually not that bad. Maybe I'll end up getting that. I don't know. But for now, we'll just kind of let that go in there and then do its thing. So while that's scanning, I think I'm going to try to figure out how I want to automate silicon rubber. Because I'm still manually doing the rubber in an assembly machine with the cables and stuff. I still haven't gotten that set up yet. So I kind of want to get the silicon rubber done. And that's not the easiest. Is it poly dye something? Yeah. So this in a reactor will turn it into the silicon rubber, although, you know, yeah. It just 1,000 millibuckets of this gets three silicon rubber, so I feel like it's just I don't like the ratio here, but I'm trying to decide if I want to do this in a large chemical reactor, or should I mean, it would probably be the easiest in a large chemical reactor. I could probably do the whole thing in it. Or should I just do the small ones? Yeah, I'll have to figure this out because there's a lot of different things to do here. Alright, I've spent a bunch of time here automating silicon because I need to get these this like recipe taken care of, because doing it manually is quite annoying. I don't have the polyvinyl yet, but this was such a pain with the silicon rubber. And a couple things, well, I don't want to go too much into it because I have already automated this before, but I've added a bunch of machines here, as we can see. One is severely steam cracked naphtha to methane. Just pretty basic. I've done that 50 million times in a distillery. I have added a new room down here. And basically what happens is we input the methane. The level emitter basically tells my system when I have enough of this in here, and it turns it off so that distillery doesn't keep running. But the methane chlorine makes the chloromethane. Chloromethane gets put back in here. It comes out. There we go. So there's the output hatches. Chloromethane gets pulled out, then gets put back in, then mixed with silicon. And I think it's 2 chloromethane, 1 silicon. And that turns into dimethyl chloride, whatever it's called, I can't remember. But I had to kind of do this again because there's water. The dichloromethane or whatever will end up in here mixed with water cells, which just jump back and forth. But the water, again, was messing with the chlorine, and that's producing hypochlorous acid, so I couldn't put the water back in there. So I ended up just doing a single tank. So the dichloromethane, which will be produced over there, will end up in here, which will produce the pulp, this stuff right here. So we're doing this recipe, so it gets the pulp, the empty cell, and this diluted hydrochloric acid. This is being pulled out along with the empty cells, and then the empty cells are being put back in here. And basically that is how I'm producing silicon rubber. Yeah, then I'm putting with an export bus, just filling this up with the polydimethyl whatever with the sulfur. That's creating the molten silicon rubber. I'm just doing a sulfur and then a round robin. And then that is going into the molten silicon rubber with the assembler, and in theory, that should create the cables. And I should be able to make that a recipe, and then I can do whatever one I want. And that'll be any of the... I think those are the better cables, the next kind of tier of cables. So the platinum cables and tungsten and all that stuff should be able to go in there. So I think we're good here. I wish I could have done the whole thing in the chemical reactor, but this water and the chlorine is like messing me up. I don't know the best way to deal with that in the large chemical reactor. Anyway, that took quite a while to kind of figure out and sort out, but let's take a look at this. So here we go, the data stick with the electric motor. And I don't know, I think if we look at NEI, I think it's been opened up. Yeah, no? Yeah. Alright, is there any, I don't know if there's any way to, oh, do we have to do this? No, we shouldn't have to do that, should we? Yeah, you scan it and then it gives... I should be able to see the recipe in NEI. Let me look this up really quick and we will be back. Alright, I did a little bit of searching and did find it. It is this data reader from Tech. Reads data sticks and orbs. Just some iridium, screws, circuits, and computer monitor. IV hull. This does need the power. And this opens up after, there's a quest for this, but it's after the assembly line. And I forgot to use my teleport again. I mean, I guess I don't really need to put it in here. I have other like, I have a whole HG thing here. Here are zombies. I don't, yeah. Let's just put it like over here, I guess. Just kind of out of the way. All right, so there is our data reader, I guess. I'm assuming you just throw this in here. Yeah, there we go. And there we can see the recipe. Does it show up in NEI when I do that? Oops. All right, it doesn't show up in NEI, but we can look at it in there. And I believe this has to go in the assembly line, but that is the recipe, so... Magnetic Samarian, I have no idea where that is from. It's not even a hot ingot. Is it? No, that's gotta be something, I have no idea. Alright, so we have a thing that I have no idea how to get. Okay, yeah, we can't go to those planets yet. I'll have to look this up. Not sure. It's probably like a byproduct from something, maybe? I believe we get this... I'm sure we can get one of these somewhere. Fluorensite, maybe. Maybe that's how we get it. I really don't know. I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure on that. Alright, but that we don't have to worry about right now. First, we have to craft this actual thing. So yeah, let's see. Data access hatch. That'll be for the sticks that we put in there. Pretty easy. Great, it's just a lot of iron bars. That's super easy. All right. But this assembler machine casing is a big old pain. We need tungsten steel frame box, electric motors. So the motor, let's do a bunch of those. Just before we wrap up this episode, it's kind of like a part 1 of part 2. For sure. Or probably going to be about 3 episodes. I think this is going to take me to craft all this. So how many do we need? We need 6 CPM circuits. And 1 LUV circuit. Holy cow. So like if we're going to do 6, 1 assembly machine requires 240 platinum, 300 or 700 copper. Man, look at that. 24 quantumize. Man, this is insane. I feel like this is a little expensive here. All right, so copper. I'm gonna have to find a. I'm gonna move my the ore driller. I'm gonna have to plop that on a chalcopyrite vein. There's tons of them. I think there's some on. There may even be some on series, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. I will have to look that up. But this is. I mean, we have 2 copper veins right here. 4 copper veins on the overworld. So in between episodes, I'll go ahead and grab that. I wonder if we can... Man, I can't even get 2. All right, there's a couple more things we need to automate here. And the problem with this is these are in the precision laser engraver, and each precision laser engraver needs a separate... If I want to automate it, I'm going to have to do a separate one for each kind of thing, because each has a different lens in. Or I craft the processing factory here, because this is the multi-block, and I'm assuming for each input hatch, I can do a different laser. I'm kind of guessing there. Don't really know. But yeah, that's... Oof. I mean, these aren't... This is not the end of the world. I mean, I am crafting all IV stuff, but... Yeah, just a lot more circuits. I mean, this isn't Knights and all I don't have yet. This is just nickel and titanium. Alright, so we're gonna have to upgrade the blast furnace to IV, which isn't a big deal. So I don't know. I'm gonna it would probably be easier if I built this. I think it's just a 3x3x3, yeah. What are the machine casings look like? Multi-use casings, what do these look like? Stabloy, stainless steel, zirconium carbide. I have got that. I don't remember how I got it, but I did get it for something. All right, so I'm gonna have to do some looking around here and figuring out what I want to do next. This is definitely like a part 1 of a few for the assembly line. Basically just getting a lot of this stuff automated because these are difficult crafts, but at least we got to see the assembly line recipes finally in the data sticks. So that is pretty cool. Osmiridium too. Whew. Yep, this is definitely a jump up, and I'll take a look at the magnetic samarium. But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, so thanks for watching, and have a good one.